Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here post-Thanksgiving.
Good morning, John.
Hi, Peggy. How you?
I see your Christmas things around.
Well,
I love this little guy.
It's we ease into Christmas, sorta.
Yeah, I love it. People that decorate because their houses are always so festive. Here's how I decorate. You want to know? I open a drawer in a room, and there'll be something in that drawer that might be Christmassy, so I set it out. That's the way I decorate.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not very good.
usually Thanksgiving is a little bit earlier, and so we usually have a week between Thanksgiving and December. And so that's sort of my post-Thanksgiving deal.
I don't do anything about Christmas during Thanksgiving.
No,
I just don't. I never have.
You drive down the road right now, and there's people got lights, and you go in. I went in a store, and I'll name the store. It's no, I can't because I can't remember who it is. That's the way that goes. What's that new store, Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
I went in Hobby Lobby 3 weeks before Thanksgiving to try to find a Horn of Plenty.
Oh, yeah. Did you find one?
No. They said we've been sold out of them for a month.
Well, of course, they've got to make a living, and they start everything early.
And so all that stuff was gone. She said all the Thanksgiving stuff was gone 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. They had Christmas stuff in there.
Oh, yeah. That's the way everybody is. I had the
cornucopia.
Cornucopia, that's what it is.
Because I've always wanted a woven cornucopia, and I just when Janie and Kathy and them were down at the flower shop, I could just borrow stuff like that.
A woven, is that like a basket weave?
Yeah, like a basket weave.
That's pretty.
In a light color.
So
I'd like it in a light color.
Will you fill it full of fresh fruit?
You put it full of pumpkin. Like before, you could put those little pumpkins in there and ears of corn sticking out of it, and just make it look like a bounty of harvest.
I got to tell you, this morning, it was just such a pleasant sight. I was all set to freeze to death today, but when I opened up the windows and looked outside with a blanket of snow, it was so beautiful. And then there was a mama deer just cautiously walking through the snow and taking her time, when all of a sudden out of the woods bounced this little one, and he just frolicking.
Oh yeah, he was jumping up and down.
It was
fun.
So pretty, and the sunlight was coming through, and I thought, wow, that's what Christmas is to me, a sense of peace.
Yeah, there was little footprints all over our yard because we have a lot of deer where we are, and it's good to see them. But then every now and then you see one. One came through my yard, not this year yet, but last year one came through my yard with an arrow sticking out of its hind quarter.
Oh no!
Where somebody had shot it.
I hate that.
And you go, really?
Yeah. I mean, try to find it and kill it if you're going to wound it.
But they probably didn't know.
They probably didn't know.
And I'm glad there's people that like to hunt deer.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they didn't, every car around here would be beat all to pieces.
Would be beat all to pieces. Because coming out of Blue Creek Road, I always have to watch.
Oh, they're everywhere.
They cross the road just before you can blink an eye.
So
they're pretty creatures.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I really did. It was quiet, but it was nice.
Did you have some family around you?
I had Shannon and Dan and Eric came, and we ate till we passed out. Yeah, we've been doing that. It's kind of funny. This is November is Buddy Check month. Buddy Check.
For the American Legion, and we take our roster and divide it up into about 3, 4, 5 of us, whoever will volunteer, and try to call every member that we have.
Oh, nice.
And do a buddy check and just see. We do it once in the spring and once in the fall.
Really nice.
And just see, hey, how you doing?
And see
you need anything?
Where people are
you
in
need
their
anything?
life.
Are y'all doing okay? Have you? Here's the number of my number. Here's the post home. If you need anything, let us know.
That's nice.
And it's amazing how much people appreciate that someone cares enough for them
just
to
for
give them a call.
To give them a call, that's true.
And I told Alan Harris last year, I think General Harris is the commander of American Legion Post
He's a good
43.
man.
And I told Alan, last year I think there was 3 of us that did it. And I said, Alan, I'll make a speech if you want me to, but we need to divide this up into about 5 or 6. And it's not that I don't want to call that many. I want somebody else to have the experience that I had.
Right, of what it
listening
means.
to the people that you talk to on the other end and how thankful they are for someone calling them and asking about them. Because a lot of these are older veterans that can't get out.
Because I'm old and I know exactly what that's like. And I can remember talking to my father about, he was such a generous, friendly, outgoing person, that good to his neighbors and all that. And people did continue to call him, but not that many. And he just talked about how he missed people that were no longer there that called him. And it is important.
Sort of like writing a letter.
Oh no, and that's we've all forgotten how to do it.
Well,
which
no,
is sad.
I write them, and I write cards and send them to people
great.
because I just think it's important to do it. That's one of the few skills I have left.
Well, I think in all reality, a card with your own personal message means more than maybe something you go buy that nobody needs. Not that I.
Well, it means more to me. It means more than an email or a text.
Yeah, it does.
You've taken the time to go get a card or make a card, and I make cards.
But then there are people that get arthritis in their hands, and they have trouble writing.
Not everybody can do what they want to do.
So thank goodness they can type.
Yeah, not everybody can do what they want to and need to do. But it's been fun calling our Legion members and listening to them.
It's a wonderful thing
and I want to get on one guy.
All right,
I'm gonna get on him.
Let him have it.
Because he deserves getting on. His name's Philip. And Philip Farah. It was on my list, and I gave Philip a call. And Philip, I thought I recognized this voice. And he asked me all kinds of questions, and how you doing, and how's this, and how's that, and we talked. Well, Philip Farah is Biff Farah from Shelbyville, who's a councilman over there who played football against me in Shelbyville. We were in the same dorm when we went to school, and he knew it was me. But on my list it said Philip. I never knew his name was Philip. It's just Biff.
Yeah.
So he led me down the garden path for about 10 minutes, and finally I was getting ready to go where I could make another call, and he said, "You don't know who this is, do you?" He said, "Before you leave, I'm going to tell you who this is." And it was Biff, and we laughed. We just laughed at one another.
What a good feeling.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a good thing. And I told you, Sunday evening, I went to see my dear friend Ruth Collins.
I'm so glad
and
you
I
did.
called Ruth, who's a brilliant lady, a brilliant musician, a wonderful poet, and I had some stuff that I wanted to share with Ruth, and gave her a call and asked if she was accepting visitors. And she said, "Who?" And I said, "Me." And she said, "Well, I love you. Of course you can." And so I went over, and she and Frank were there, and they were all cozied in and doing well, but they don't get out right now.
Right.
And it's just so important to stop and, take your time to go see someone else.
I think time is the most precious gift.
It's a wonderful gift.
And
we laughed and told
we've
jokes.
Forgotten that, yeah.
It was
take
just
some time.
it was great. It was just a great deal. So, you want to be thankful for something. Be thankful for, of course, we all are thankful for our acquaintances. We all have many, many acquaintances, particularly living in a small town, people that you touch and brush shoulders with from time to time. But we all have most of us have few true friends.
True.
And do not push them aside. Spend time with them. Although, you might not talk to one of them for a year, it's still the same. You can call them up. You'll know. They'll come. If you need them, they'll come.
If they're still walking.
If they're still alive.
Yeah.
But, spend time with people, giving the gift of yourself
That's true.
to them because of the many gifts they've given you.
I agree with you, John.
You know, so that's all I got to say about
You're
that.
preaching to the choir here.
Yeah. Oh, I wanna say that Nolensville got spanked by Elizabethton
They
in the
did.
playoff game last week.
So now Elizabeth.
Elizabethton's playing somebody from West Tennessee that they will absolutely beat to death because
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's not any talent out west
So
this
does
year.
it look like Livingston's going to?
Elizabethton will be, they'll be the state champion
the
again,
state
most
champion.
likely. So, but we've got all kinds of other stuff going on. Basketball. You a basketball person?
Well,
Did you
yeah.
play?
No, but my sister did. I played, but I was too short and too hyper. But I played in elementary school. No, I had no desire to be a basketball player. But my sister was a star.
Yeah.
She was in Bell Buckle, and
Good.
it was a small school, and they won every game they ever played.
That's great.
And I think they didn't even have a sub that was such a small school in those days. But yeah, she was, and my father played basketball. One of my favorite stories he told me was when he married my mother, they had to get home, or they just went to a justice of the peace. They had to get home early because he had a basketball game to play. I think he was out of school, but he had a basketball game somewhere to play, and he loved basketball to his last days.
He was a big guy.
Yeah, he was tall.
Yeah.
And he watched.
Hey, speaking
the
about
games.
tall, I want to say something on the air. Our friend Kara Kemp is married to the tallest guy in the world, as far as I know. Tony,
except the
fireman, our fireman here.
Yeah.
Tony is every time I'm around him, I say, "Hey, taller than me." Of course,
Yeah.
most people are taller than
Right.
me, but this guy's huge. Had a birthday. He's 60.
He turned 60.
And we just want to give Tony our best. And hey, I told him, I wrote a little something to him, and I said, I hope you enjoy the 60s because that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
You've worked hard enough to get there. You're wise enough to know what you can do, but you're still young enough to do a few things that you shouldn't do.
And have a great time.
And have a great time in the 60s. So we just want to wish Tony a happy birthday. And
He's a good man.
yeah, he is a good man.
And I love Kara. She's been sort of
Very talented.
one of my children in a way.
Very talented.
My extended family. But
So
yes.
what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with what's next.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game.
The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well. Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch and John. We are here today for segment 65 of the Conversations with John and Pat.
That's when I graduated from high school, 65.
65.
That was a good year.
It was a good year.
It was good. Had a good time. I liked high school a whole lot. But we're going to talk about some sports.
Most school people liked school. I loved school.
Yeah, I did
Loved
too.
it.
I couldn't see why people wouldn't like it. But this little song, I'm going back in the archives a little bit of my memory and pulling out some of these songs that I wrote. And this was a parody. I think we talked about that one other time, about using a tune that already was there, and I put words to it.
Not everybody from Forest High knows what a parody is, John. I'm pretty impressed.
Well, thank you, Pat. Here it is. 26 years of my life I gave to pick guitar in Nashville. 26 years of my life I gave to be a star in Nashville. I'm a-going there where the money's free. Music Square is a-calling me. Oh, what a big star I will be there in Music City. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls want to be squeezed. I'm gonna make my debut at Opryland when I get to Nashville. Get me a bus and my very own band when I get to Nashville. I'm gonna set up shop on Music Row, giving lessons to old Hank Snow. You just watch this old country boy go when I get to Nashville. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls want to be squeezed. Well, I'm a-going there if I have to crawl all the way to Nashville. Date Dolly Parton and that ain't all when I get to Nashville. When I get there, I'm gonna change my name, write a hit song about an old freight train. They'll hang my picture in the Hall of Fame when I get to Nashville. I'll sing it. Oh, give me a home where the swimming pools roam and the money grows on trees and all the girls want to be squeezed. I bet you've never heard that song before, Pat.
I've heard parts of it.
Jimmy, you noticed at the song, a lot of those people, of course, Dolly Parton's married. I'm married. You got
Blissfully.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about Dolly, but yes, I am on this end of things. And then Hank Snow is no longer with us. He passed away several years ago. So a lot of that was written a long time ago. And like you can tell, I struggled remembering the words, but I think I got through it.
You didn't have to quit, John.
I didn't have to quit, so that was a good thing. But what are we talking about today, Pat?
Well, the music certainly doesn't provide much of a segue. However,
not every song does.
No. We've had some, we have had some good programs come out of a non-segue, and today will be one of them, we hope. UTSI has been a great, made great contributions to Tullahoma, provided great jobs, and it's been a great kind of showcase for our area and for the state. But not many people realize that UTSI has a sports background, and I did not realize that until yesterday at a barbecue at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. I found out that in 1977, UTSI had a rugby club team that engaged in battle with the University of Tennessee, MTSU, Vanderbilt, and Auburn.
Wow.
And it got its footing in a local establishment that has late night hours, and it was frequented by 3 or 4 graduate students seeking some relief from their studies. And they found several look like past athletes or athletes that could be described either way in the establishment, and asked them if they'd ever played rugby. Not only nobody had played rugby, nobody had heard of rugby. But as they described it, several felt
Sort of like football.
It's kind of like football without helmets, and which would have fit these boys really well. The problem was none of them would have been termed at that point, nor would they have accepted the term of being a rocket scientist. So it made a really kind of incredible combination. And I guess these club sports, you don't even have to be enrolled, because these boys definitely were not enrolled. Philip, put up that. This is from 1977 Tullahoma News, and I believe UTSI was in striped jerseys, rugby shirts, and the gentleman on the left, it looks like he's signaling touchdown in American football, is Bill Hain. He was a year or two older than I, and maybe what made him legal was that his brother Joe was in charge of facilities at UTSI, and I believe he still is. The gentleman in the middle who's jumping up is Tim Stubblefield, who is with the fire department and a great, and he's also a county commissioner. And the smaller guy on the right in the striped shirt is an actual grad student. So he had real ties to UTSI. This game they lost to MTSU 16-14, but that year they beat Vanderbilt and they beat Auburn. How about the second piece? That is also from 1977, and I believe to the far left is Bobby Nichols, who has been in Tullahoma a long time, and then there's 2 guys on the right, and those are our friends, the Banks brothers. Kenny is the furthest to the left of the 2, and Randy is on the far right. And if anybody will see their legs, they needed Michael Jordan length shorts at that time. They both of them a little bit thin in the leg department. And they are highly competitive people, and I think these graduate students were probably surprised at the lengths that those boys would go to try to make UTSI victorious, but neither one of them has ever been accused of being rocket scientists at the same time.
Pat, that's an ugly thing to say about.
Well, John, nor you or I would be described as a rocket scientist.
You're correct.
Rocket scientist. But it's great that we live in a community that has.
One thing that I noticed moving from where I was to Tullahoma, the diversity in the community. People at UTSI, AEDC, the Air Force people who come in, they bring a lot of different ideas and life experiences to Tullahoma that we're not familiar with sometimes.
Correct. And
can I tell a story on Tim Stubblefield?
Sure.
I was a coach teacher at East Middle School, East Junior High School at this time, and one day I was a physical education teacher, and we were into wrestling during that time. And got a child came over to my gym and said, Mr. Rickman, Mr. Saunders, Charlie Saunders, and Tim Stubblefield would like to wrestle.
And Mr. Saunders was the
He was a history teacher.
and I student taught under him in 1975 in the old East building, the old high school
And
building.
Tim, I suppose, was a 9th grader at that time. I really don't know. It might have been an 8th, but I know probably a 9th
We're
grader.
still back in history then, because that'd been either 77 probably or
Now
no.
here's a teacher. Here's a teacher and a student that's been in the classroom, and somebody has said, Mr. Saunders probably to him, I bet you couldn't beat Tim. Tim was strong as an ox. He was, as a child, a youngster, he was just, he was strong. And so anyway, yeah.
He was probably bigger than Charlie in the 9th grade too.
Well, but anyway, they came in, all the students gathered around the mats, and I had my whistle, and I was the referee. And I made sure that that things went on without any problems. So Mr. Saunders and Tim began to wrestle, and next thing you know, Mr. Saunders is on his back, and Tim's about ready to, pin him, and I think, this is too quick. I can't let Tim beat him so quickly. So I said, no, that's an illegal hold. We're gonna stand you back up. We're gonna stand you back up.
Start over.
Well, wasn't any time to Tim.
A mulligan. Gave him a mulligan, a wrestling mulligan.
Tim had him down again, and that was settled after that. And so Tim beat Mr. Saunders. Now, I don't know if things like that could go on today, but
Probably
things were
not.
different back at that time, and we sure had a good time. And I laugh about that today, and I don't know what Mr. Saunders does. But
Flinches probably.
but Tim Stubblefield, we love you, old buddy, and all those people who played rugby back at that time.
Don, not many people know that UTSI was involved in interscholastic athletics at a high end in 1977, and not many people know that Tim Stubblefield whipped Charlie Saunders in your PE class. But that probably wraps up segment 65 of the conversation with John and Pat, and we're so desirous of coming back because we have more stories to tell. Thank y'all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. before these prices are gone forever.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
All right, folks, we're back, and I have the lovely Miss Hope Sarton on the set with me today, and it is Christmas Parade. It's
Yes,
Candyland.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm glad to have you.
We are very excited about the 64th Annual Tullahoma Christmas Parade, sponsored by Stan McNabb Automotive, and we sincerely appreciate their continued support of this community-favorited event.
Sure.
And so, very excited. And we have a special Grand Marshal to go with our theme this year, a Candyland Christmas. So, no one better to follow that than our Grand Marshal, Candy Couch. And so,
Well, that's we just thank you for that as a family. You know, that's that family served this community for over 125 years and going out of business. And you know, of course, there's always a time for that. Right. Everybody does it. You know, the Parrish family sold the baseball plant, and you know, there comes a time when that's the thing you need to do, because it gives somebody new an opportunity to take that property and re-energize it and recreate it to help downtown Tullahoma be better.
New life.
New life. And
yes, very
to have Candy as the Grand Marshal this year is just outstanding.
Well, we are very excited to honor Candy and have her as our Grand Marshal this year. You know, we are in the middle of Parade Week right now. And so we've got people picking up their packets and making final preparations for the parade that will take place on Friday, December 4th, starting at 7 p.m. And so, you know, right now we have about 80 floats that will go down Jackson Street. So very excited about that.
Well, considering the kind of the time we're in with
absolutely
what's going on in our country,
yes,
and the pandemic, that 80 floats is outstanding.
We feel like it's a win, a very strong win.
Sure.
And so very happy about that. And, you know, this year we'll have our Grand Marshal reception that's sponsored by Rodney's Body Shop the evening before. So that will be on Thursday, December 3rd. And so that's when we will honor Candy and have the tree lighting ceremony at South Jackson Civic Center.
Okay.
And so we do encourage everyone who plans to participate in the reception and the parade to please keep the health and safety of the community top of mind. We are really encouraging people to review those CDC guidelines and make sure you're wearing a mask, make sure you stay with your group, make sure you're maintaining social distance.
Right,
and so it's very, very important that everyone is mindful of those guidelines during this holiday season, because the only thing we want to spread is joy.
Comfort and joy.
And so we just really, really encourage everyone making plans to attend to please be mindful of those guidelines.
we thank you and the folks down at the chamber and all of the folks that your staff for keeping everybody informed and keeping the emails out and the newsletter coming, and
Thank you so much.
that's a way that a lot of people, only way they get information.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we appreciate y'all and what you're doing.
Thank you. We're just trying to help keep everyone informed and just remind everyone, you know, that we are here to serve more than ever, you know, in these times, and make sure that people are aware of any changes that are happening in your business. Maybe you've adapted a new practice. Maybe you're doing curbside delivery and you didn't do that before. Please notify us so we can share that with the community.
Right.
And I cannot be sitting here in the holiday season without reminding everyone to shop local. We are doing our Shop Local campaign again this year, where if you come and turn in a receipt from any store with a 37388 zip code, you could win one of 2 very nice baskets featuring lots of local goodies.
You know, and we need to remember that more this year than ever, because a lot of our small businesses could go away.
And we don't want
And
that.
if we don't spend the money here locally, we might, the next time we need so-and-so to do this or so-and-so to do that,
That's right.
and you go to the door, it's going to be dark.
Mm-hmm.
And, instead of hunting that special deal that just is the over-the-top Christmas present, well, do we really have to be over the top this year? Let's find some nice things that we can purchase here locally and save that other thing for a birthday. We need to keep our money at home right now.
Yes, sir. We firmly believe that as well. And so anything that you can do to help us spread the word, we greatly appreciate it.
We do that every time we're on the air,
Wonderful.
and we appreciate what our city board is doing. We appreciate what you're doing, because a lot of folks are changing the way they do business. They have to change the way they do business.
That's right.
And when this new normal, as it's being called, finally finds its way here, we will be in a brave new world, because it will never be what it was before this. Other than in the big cities, you may never see a movie theater again, other than a drive-in. Drive-ins are coming back.
Mm-hmm. And we already have one, so we're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
We're ahead of the game. So,
so it's tough, and it's all electronic.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much electronic stuff. Don't you wish last November or last December about this time you'd have bought stock in Zoom? We could just be throwing money at all the small businesses.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
So these folks at the chamber are very schooled in electronic sales and how to promote yourself through electronics, and this, of course, there's nothing better than word of mouth.
Right.
But that's what the electronics do. They get you somewhere to where you can tell your buddy, hey, you need to go over there.
Yes, word of mouth is always fantastic as long as it's a good review. And so,
it was right mouth.
My marketing background steps in to say, do you want to let someone else tell your story, or do you want to tell your story?
Right.
And so there's always good and bad. And so
That's right.
We offer many marketing opportunities at the chamber, and so we always like to help to promote the local businesses that we have and all the things that they have going on. And so yes, please make plans to attend the reception to honor Candy. Please make plans to attend the Christmas parade, and please shop local and shop safely.
That's it. And if you see this young lady around, you probably can't see on the set, but she's got some snarky pants on today. She's got buttons on the legs, and they're checked, and they're just cool looking stuff. She's always cool anyway.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, John.
You know why? Because you do a good job of it.
Well, I appreciate that.
And we appreciate you.
I appreciate that very
We'll
much.
see you back after these messages.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up, but without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hey, how are you doing?
How you doing, Peggy? Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. It's good to see you. And I guess Science Center, like everything else, is kind of closed up.
We are. We're closed to general admission. However, we are doing a lot of stuff still. We do our virtual content. We have our new HOSC virtual initiative where we're doing Facebook Live programs. And
how's that going?
Going good.
Tell me about the timing and everything on that.
Yeah, we actually paused a little bit for the holidays because we actually just finished up a couple of grants. I know a lot of people on Facebook saw our Women in Science program that we did. We did a Facebook Live of that as well
great.
As it's a little bit ironic, but a brand new exhibit that nobody can see at the moment. But we did a virtual ribbon cutting of that. It's the Supergirls of Science. So that was a grant that we got through the Association of Science and Technology Centers.
Wonderful.
We got it before all this stuff happened.
Before everything
but that exhibit will be waiting for when we reopen. So we've been really busy the past couple weeks. There's a second grant was through the Tennessee Community Cares, part of the CARES Act.
Good.
That we're just finishing up. So we actually have a couple new outdoor classrooms that are going to be coming in.
So have y'all
like
added
that.
a few new things during this empty time?
We have, yeah. We've gotten a lot of work done, a lot of new programs. Our Facebook Live program is a real cool thing. Is obviously we love our local community, but our Facebook Live programs have reached over all 50 states.
That's
now.
wonderful.
So
What is the? There you go. The phone number there if anybody wants to talk to you. But when you go to Facebook, you go to Hands On Science Center?
Yep, yeah, just search Hands On Science Center and it'll come right up on there.
And everybody that's interested, and especially those people with their kids staying home and trying to do teaching when you're not used to it, don't forget science, for heaven's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of the science kits you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that still going strong?
Yeah, again, we took a slight pause. Watch us on Facebook. We'll announce when the new one comes very shortly. That's a free kit that people can come pick up and do a little science at home, get some hands-on stuff, even though the Hands-On Science Center isn't open.
Parents can learn at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's loads of fun.
I'm assuming that the kits are geared to the students, but I think there's always something new to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
What actually goes into a science? Maybe just one. Just name a science kit to me.
Well,
what goes into it?
We've done all different types. The last one was talking about different types of clouds, where it includes everything. So the goal of these kits is you can pick up a kit, and it's a little cold now, but go to a park or something and just do it. So it has all the supplies you need. So they actually made the different types of clouds.
Oh, neat.
And has a little video you can watch. We did one with a little planetarium that they make out of a Pringles can, and a little flashlight, which we included, and things. So very cool stuff
that's
there.
a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And science is so important. I think that maybe every day I start to realize how important how much more important it is than I had envisioned as a child.
Yeah. I mean, and the big thing is, everything that we're doing right now is entirely free. So that's
I
it's
know.
a big deal.
And so besides a few grants that you're lucky enough to get, what are you doing to raise a little extra money? Because all this got to cost money.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't put together a kit without costing money.
Yeah, today, one of the reasons I wanted to come today's actually a special day. I don't know if everybody realizes. We just had Black Friday, Cyber Monday just ended. Today is what's called Giving Tuesday. And we mentioned Facebook. Facebook is really awesome with this. They are actually, anybody that's willing to make a donation via Facebook is matching today.
Right.
So you can make your donations go a lot further.
So if you put in $100, it's like putting in $200.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a really huge deal for us.
That's a huge
so,
deal, and
anybody
for
watching,
any nonprofit, that's a wonderful thing. And so, especially the Science Center, I don't want to see it have to close, and I don't think it will, but it's just tough times.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, we really. During this time, we really need the community to come together and help support these things. I mean, even if you can't make a donation, for those of you that are on Facebook, sharing posts, making them go everywhere. Like I said, we are getting more of a broader reach with our virtual programs.
And if you happen to know somebody that maybe doesn't have access to TV and internet, remind them of what's going on at the Science Center and how they can go by and pick up a kit. Is there a certain time of day that
each time we do it, we've been generally doing it on Saturdays, pickup window. We announce that when we announce the kit. So
and that all goes on Facebook.
Yeah, that all goes on Facebook.
So if you know somebody with children that don't have Facebook, well, be sure and check this out and let them know what's going on.
One thing that a lot of people don't realize too, part of that CARES Act, generally most people know when you give a donation, you can deduct it from your taxes, but that's only if you itemize.
Right.
The CARES Act actually passed a law where the IRS is allowing people to take up to $300 deduction for donations.
For donations?
Even if they don't itemize.
Okay.
So you don't have to itemize
So you
anymore.
don't have to itemize. Your donation will go against your income tax.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great.
So that's wonderful. So
I mean, I don't have lots of money, but I do know people that do have lots of money, and I hear them say, "Well, I've got to find something to donate to."
Exactly.
And this is a great thing
in the
to
past,
do.
it's kind of always just been, people that maybe have lots of money and itemize and everything like that, but. The CARES Act actually really helped out nonprofits by broadening it, giving the everyday person the opportunity.
Maybe everybody didn't know that. That's a good thing to let people know about. How about the snake? Who's feeding the snake?
we have people taking care of the animals. Yeah. Hopefully they'll be making a reappearance soon.
How long is that snake now?
She's about 4 or 5 feet.
It's still the same one.
Yeah.
And I loved her. She was here one time, and she kind of liked to go around the edge and, and turn the curves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's not dangerous, is she?
No.
It's so hard to make yourself love a snake on some levels, but they're just like other animals,
Oh yeah.
They like to be loved.
Yeah.
Do you only have one?
We have a couple. We have.
So are they in the same cages, or do they have to be separate?
Yeah, they're separate.
Oh my goodness. Do you have a favorite thing there at the Science Center?
I kind of like it all. People always ask, about favorites. I enjoy all of it.
I always wondered what got you interested in science. Was it as a child, or?
Oh yeah. I mean, especially the snakes and reptiles. Those are, that was my initial passion. I was a zookeeper for a while, and then I, owned my own reptile zoo for a while before coming here. So
do you have reptiles at home?
I don't. I have them at home now.
You haven't.
I work a little too much to be able to take care of stuff at home.
What if maybe one last call for donations? Remember that it goes against your income tax, and the Hands-On Science Center. Saturday is open most of the time, or off and on.
Right now we're not. We're looking at potentials.
So go to Facebook and
definitely check out the Facebook.
You can always send a check. Well, they're fixing to cut us off, Sean. I hope you'll come back because science is so important. We'll be back with something.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville Caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Good morning, all you wonderful people in TV land and camera ladies. Thanks, John, for that introduction. And Madam Elf, we're delighted to see that you made it here this morning. You know, this is a wonderful season. Hot, cold, dry, wet, whatever it is, the Christmas season always fills you with good spirits, and it's wonderful to be here. And having seen a lot of seasons in the past, I'd like to share with you a current event and the same current event many years ago, and that's the snow season. You know, the ground was blanketed with snow this morning, and until it gets waist deep, I think we could probably get around these wonderful Tullahoma streets and byways. But you know, I'm reminded of some of the days gone by. I think I mentioned it in an earlier show, that in 1939 for Easter we had an early spring, and the grass was up and the violets were up and the jonquils and tulips were all up, and sure enough, all the ladies were ready to come out in their Easter finery. Guess what happened? Saturday night before Easter it snowed. I'm telling you, about a foot of snow, and little buttercups and jonquils, little heads were just sticking up above the snow that day. And that was not a good weather year either, because in the fall and winter of 1939 was one of the hardest freezes in the century. And the Avoca and Lake and Lake Tullahoma froze over. And I don't know whether it was Hubert Crouch or Robert Doss that bet somebody that they could drive their Model A across Avoca Lake, and I don't know what the bet was, but sure enough, they drove a Model A across Lake Avoca in the winter of 1939. In 1940, winter was not much better, because that was the winter they constructed Camp Forest here for the big Army base, and there was mud around the clock, and they had a good group of big international dump trucks that brought crushed rock from the quarry at Normandy and Lynchburg, and I forget where the other one was, but they brought gravel into the Camp Forest area around the clock so they could have some kind of footing to get the trucks and material in there. But one of the worst things about that winter was the ice, terrible ice. The temperature was not too low, but the ice was terrible, and the wind. And I know the trunk line of the telephone company that went down the alley between Washington and Atlantic Street that had probably 20 cross arms on it, maybe 100 wires that took the telephone communications between Chattanooga and Nashville, and they were sagging not to the ground, but they were loaded with ice. And of course, ice is the biggest enemy of the electric company. Wind is bad and rain is bad, but ice, they just can do more. As we all know, in the ice storm just before Christmas of '98, how the service was interrupted, and we did makeshift things to live together and stay together, and we made it fine. But Mother Nature has a way of working real hard. One of the fun things about ice and snow is if you can have some otherwise fairly decent weather, was to go sleigh riding and sledding. I know Camel's Hill, which is the second block of West Lincoln Street, before it was ever paved, was real steep and it was gravel, and that was called Camel's Hill. And it was fun to get on a great big piece of heavy cardboard or sled and run and jump on it about when you're in front of Domino's Pizza on West Lincoln Street, and you could slide all the way across the bridge, Rock Creek Bridge on West Lincoln Street. And it was fun. The police or public works people put a big 55-gallon oil drum in the intersection there of Lincoln and Jackson, and kept a fire going in it so folks could warm their hands, and it was a great time and a lot of fun. And the automobiles or vehicles couldn't come up that block of West Lincoln because it was so steep and slick. Another good sleigh riding hill was over behind the old Tullahoma Laundry there, and it was called Osborne's Hill, and you could go down on it and sled, and if you didn't turn quick enough, you'd wind up in Rock Creek, and a lot of our buddies did do that, but it was so much fun. And along about the middle of the early middle 70s, had a good snow on a weekend, and a lot of folks went out to the Lake Hills area near Avoca, and it was good wide roads out there and real good and slick. The sun was out, and spent the whole afternoon, that Sunday afternoon, sleigh riding. And a couple of brothers here, the twins, Charlie and Clarence Weaver, that made a big wooden sled that probably 15 and 20 people could get on out of 2x4s and some old lumber, and they called it the dingbat. And they'd get somebody in a pickup truck or a car that would drive them all over town, had blankets, and it was so much fun. But if you're bundled up good for cold weather, why, it's really, really great. If you might as well not try to get out in a T-shirt because you'll freeze and take cold, but if you're bundled up real good, well, it's a lot of fun and keep warm that way. But those days were real fun. One winter, many years ago, the weather was so severe and the snow was so heavy that people ran out of firewood, and the city fathers said you could go down to South Jackson school grounds and cut some of those old oak trees down there and get you some firewood. When the school was first built there, you could not see all the way across the campus for the big trees that were there. But that particular winter, they cut down many of those trees for firewood, and that was a 13-acre block there that was the original town square. And even years before that, I asked my grandfather one time what the earliest snow was and the latest snow, and he didn't remember when the earliest one was, but he said the latest one was the corn was already up and the gardens were were green, and the yards had plenty of grass, and the leaves were all out and everything. And on May the 16th of 1886, they had about 18 inch to 2 foot snow that late in the year. And I thought, surely not in May, but sure enough, somebody called in the weather people at Channel 5 a year or two ago and asked the same question: when was the first one and when was the latest one on record? And sure enough, May the 16th, 1886, blanketed Tennessee from Memphis to Kingsport with a deep, deep snow, and it stayed, they said, for about a week. But those are some of the things that, and things of past that were related to snow. I understand that today the forecast is for, I think, a high of about 20, and possible snow flurries tonight, and Saturday and Sunday and Christmas Day is supposed to be cold, but dry, no snow. But I'm wondering how it would be in, where was it, in the Midwest in the last couple of weeks. They've had such terrible, deep, blowing blizzard type snows. I talked to one of my suppliers in Iowa yesterday about 3 o'clock, and the lady said, "We're getting ready to go home." I said, "How come?" She said, "We can't see across the street. The snow is blowing so hard, and the streets are slick, and we want to get home when we can." "How is it down there in Tennessee?" I said, "Well, it's the sun is out now, and we've had a few snow flurries, but it's pleasant, and if you bundle up real good, it's not too bad. I wish we were down there because we're up in all this heavy blowing snow, and but that's what you expect up there, you know, to have plenty of snow and that sort of thing. But we live in the sunny South, and I'm glad that we have the changing seasons, the 4 seasons. One last thing, I remember very well, February the 16th, 1946, when our ship had just come back from the South Pacific. We pulled into Boston Harbor, and it was 26 below zero, and the wind was blowing about 50 or 60 knots off the North Atlantic. And I'm telling you right now, I prayed if the Lord get me back to Tullahoma, Tennessee in one piece and get me thawed out, I would never, ever complain about hot weather again, and I haven't. But those were really bone-chilling days. And I tell you what, this is not the end of the story, because there's a lot more to be coming pretty soon, and we'll have some tales to tell, and we thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a good, dry, warm day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the paint. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them, and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street, and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I am always thrilled to death to have Greg Gressel here. I am glad that he's still standing. He's the busiest man I know in this world. He is the chairman of the board there at South Jackson Civic Center, and we are so blessed to have him. I know there's a million things going on. Do we dare start?
There are a million things going on. Just Thursday is going to be the city Christmas tree lighting. The chamber will have their grand marshal reception there at South Jackson. It's all going to be outside on the front
I was wondering
patio.
about that. Everything's
of course,
outside.
The tree is outside,
Yeah.
of course, and we'll light the tree, but Santa will be there and other people will be there, and we're going to have tent set up, and they're going to have some of the outdoor heaters and those kind of things.
Oh,
so,
good.
So
It'll
we're
be a good
just
time
going
for people to get pictures of their children with Santa.
Right, and in front of the Christmas tree. So,
Yeah.
so we're excited about that, and that is at 4:30, from 4:30 to 5:30 on Thursday of this week. And then this weekend is Saturday and Sunday is a Nutcracker Fantasy.
I love that.
Yes, and we've got several shows for that. On the Saturday, we have a 2 p.m. show and a 7 p.m. show. We've not done a 2 p.m. before with
I know.
that, and it's going very well. We've got, and then Sunday we have a 2 p.m. show. And then also we've added, announced just in the last 24, 48 hours that we will have a live stream option for that Saturday night show, the Saturday 7 p.m. show. You can call South Jackson and reserve a live stream and pay for it, and then this live stream link will be sent to you a couple of hours prior to, and you just open it up and you watch it live with everyone else.
Sit there with your popcorn and your Coke or whatever and enjoy this great show, because these kids have worked so hard.
They have. We do this in partnership with Long School of Dance,
Right.
and Beverly and her crew have always been good to bring a quality piece of work to the stage.
Well, and as Family Entertainment Chairman, I don't ever want us to lose dance.
Right.
There's so many different things we want to show, and there's a big thing coming up.
Yes, actually a couple of big things.
There's a lot of other big things.
Next week, after all that takes place, then on Wednesday, from Wednesday to Sunday, is going to be our Trees of Christmas. These trees are going to be decorated by different organizations and companies, for-profit, non-for-profit. They'll have a little information there
How
about.
many trees are there?
There's 17 trees right now.
Wow.
And so
I'm impressed.
So it looks beautiful all lit up in South Jackson, and it'll be a wonderful time. It's a good opportunity for us to do something that is social distancing, to be able to control the crowd. Only move certain people through.
So
at
like you're
certain
going to have
times.
somebody at the door, and
Mhm.
they'll take tickets there, and they'll make sure that you're not bunching together.
Right. And so it just gives us another opportunity. And
I think we have a $5 charge for that.
There's a $5 charge for that. No family more than 20.
Yeah.
So if you come with your household and you've got several kids, no family more than 20.
Oh, well, that's good.
And,
I didn't realize
just
that.
wanted to be one of those fun events that we look forward to in Tullahoma.
And on Friday night, the 11th, my students are going to be on the stage singing their Christmas songs.
Exactly.
So
There'll
that'll
be
fun.
different types of music throughout this event, but Friday night will be a very special time with Peggy's students.
I looked out the window
playing
this
Christmas.
morning and saw the snow, and I thought, perfect timing, because we've got all this stuff coming up that reminds me of Christmas.
Yep.
All about Christmas.
All about Christmas. And then Saturday night of next week, the 12th, that is our big Sandy Patty concert. It's a Christmas concert.
Did you go to school with her?
No,
or
I
do
didn't.
something, work with her?
Worked with her just a tad. When I first entered in the music industry was when she was hitting it big, and the company that I began working with, Benson Music at the time, she was on that label, and I actually have one of her gold albums.
Wow,
And,
I'm impressed.
So really cool
Yeah.
kind of come around type thing.
We
and
need to play something on, on this channel. I wonder if she could send us some video.
Oh, very, very possibly. We can check and see.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a great opportunity. This is, we expect the concert to be completely sold out, and that is sold out at half capacity.
People that don't know Sandy Patty, there may be a few out there.
Yeah.
She's a religious artist, correct?
Uh-huh.
And has toured the world, I mean, as far as I know.
Right. She's a religious crossover artist. A lot of her Christmas stuff is where her crossover happened.
Yeah.
But she's kind of known all over the world as The Voice.
Right.
Just a phenomenal vocalist.
So it's a great opportunity.
And,
I mean, you don't have to leave town to see Sandy Patty.
It's amazing, and we're excited about that kind of quality.
And she has an orchestra.
She will have a live piano, and
and
she'll have backup singers and stuff. She's not bringing the full set. She was supposed to be in some Christmas concerts in Indianapolis with a couple of big name artists, and that got canceled. And she said, "I want to do some small, intimate venues.
Good.
What can we do?"
And so you raised your hand.
Yeah, well, actually, I was friends with her booking agent, and he called me and he said, "Hey," he said, "don't you want to get Sandy Patty down to the Mini Ryman?"
Yeah.
I said, absolutely. You know I do. Don't tease me.
So that's the 12th of December. Don't forget. I think the concert starts at 7:30.
7:30. Concert starts at 7:30.
And I would suggest you get your ticket early, because
yes,
if you want a ticket at all.
I mean, we wish we could do full capacity, but we won't be able to. We'll be social distancing everybody.
And we
at half
can't
capacity.
sell the tickets online, right? Because
Right.
we have to do it through the office because of social distancing.
Right.
And so
because we're manually placing
so
everybody.
if you don't get frustrated if you have to call and leave a number, because you'll be called back.
Yes. Because of all of the things that are going on and all the phone calls, the phone stays busy. Well, it goes to voicemail if you call and we're on the phone, so you never know that it was actually busy. It just goes to voicemail. And,
Letters to Santa?
Yeah, well, on the 17th of December is going to be our It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, that's right. It's
the
a
movie.
Wonderful Life.
And become a Tullahoma tradition, and we're super excited about that. And
What night of the week is that?
It is a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm. A Tuesday
and we have
night.
popcorn for sale and
Popcorn, concessions, everything.
Concessions.
Your ticket price does include popcorn and a drink.
Right, and it's
So,
only $10.
$10. Now that you can actually purchase online because it's general admission.
Okay. So you have to social distance yourself.
You have to social distance yourself.
And I think that works fine.
Yes, and so the Trees of Christmas will also be something that will be that's online as well. If you wanted to pre-buy tickets, you don't have to.
Have the Trees of Christmas come in? Do we have the trees
The
already?
trees are ready and
trees?
up, and after this Sunday, people will begin decorating.
They'll begin
and have it ready by
decorating.
Wednesday.
A lot going on.
Lots going on. And the Letters to Santa, that's just going to be something we're doing all through the season.
That's sweet.
We've got a mailbox from Santa there. And
Oh, goodness.
The kids from any of these events that they come to at South Jackson,
They can drop their letter
drop a
while they're
off,
there.
and they'll get a return letter from Santa as long as it's
I will get
it's
that
in
word
quick
out
enough.
with my kids
Yeah.
that I teach, because
So-
they will. That sounds like fun.
It'd be a lot of fun. So any event
Santa
that we
is a
have.
busy man, just like you, Greg.
Yes. So But you can check out information at www.southjackson.org or call the box office for the tickets. Most everything has to be reserved through the office, and so we appreciate you doing that. Please leave a message if you don't get someone. We are returning those calls as quickly as possible.
The beauty of all this is you don't have to decorate your house. Just come down to South Jackson. Thanks, Greg. We'll be back with more.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one!
Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Peggy, there's just so much stuff that we can do in this town.
You know, you have no reason to be bored.
No, and all you have
whatever.
to do is be smart. You need to wear your mask and social distance and
I just wanted
be safe.
To add that the South Jackson Street Band will be in Normandy, and I can't remember the name of the place. It's not a big town.
It's the old Normandy School.
The old Normandy School, but it's called something now. Jackie
the old Normandy
Smotherman
School.
Smith. But anyway, we're going to be there on the 5th of December at 7 o'clock, I believe, and there'll be hors d'oeuvres and all kind of stuff like that, and it's very well socially distanced. The cutoff of people is 50, so, and it holds about 150.
And when you get to Front Street in Normandy, which is about 5 buildings right there, the Normandy, the cafe's there. On either end of that, you can go straight down that road, and that makes a circle.
Okay.
And in the back of that circle, it's where the school sits.
You can't
back
miss
there.
the school.
No, well, I mean, if you're looking for it just on Front Street, it's not there. You have to go back. It's on a circle in the back, and there's a field behind it. The school and where the place is, and there's plenty of parking and plenty of room back there for everybody. You could have a football game back there and have plenty of room.
It will be fun for us playing all our Christmas music and stuff like that. So anyway, we hope if you have a chance, you can go to South Jackson Street, SJSband.org.
And get it.
sjsband.org
And get it.
and
That's
find
right.
out anything you need to find out, who to call and whatever.
So with all of that and everything else going on, one thing we we want to say is it's different. This is a different year, and as I spoke at the beginning of the show, the gift of your time to spend with somebody that you love or you hadn't seen in a while is very important. But also another gift is realizing that a lot of our nonprofits and a lot of our small businesses are struggling. And if you have some extra money and you need that you want to feel good about making a present that will really matter, look at a South Jackson or the Science Center or the Art Center or some of these nonprofits that do such good work year in and year out for 50 years.
The Trinity Center.
Trinity, there's so many things, but find somewhere, don't buy another trinket for yourself or your house or your wife or your adult kids that have their own trinkets. Put that money where it will serve the future.
And buy locally. That's really important. We have great people in this town, and we want to support them.
Yeah, we do. Now, what we're going to do is, knowing that Tullahoma Christmas Parade's is Friday night, we're going to get you in the mood for that because Manchester Christmas Parade was Saturday, and our producer Philip Scoggins was up there, and we're going to show you some highlights from the Manchester Christmas Parade just to get you ready and in the mood. With snow on the ground,
oh my goodness,
what could be better?
What could be better?
We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Same Construction is up next. Same Construction is a float winner. March third place winner. Same Construction. Congratulations on your win. You guys look great.
Look at that. His heart grew 2 sizes that day.
You won. That's awesome.
Look, it's the world's smallest big rig.
Huff and Puff Trucking. Hey, Huff and Puff. Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. Look at the presents. Is my present in there?
I'll take the rest.
See if my name's on that present. The big one on the left. More Huff and Puff Trucking. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll wish you a Merry Christmas. Hi, friends.
Keep on trucking. Huffing and puffing. Merry Christmas.
They got the horns. They brought the horns.
Hey, and if you have a horn like that, you might as well use it.
I know, right? Look at that old truck. How about that?
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Merry Christmas. Hi, friends. Merry Christmas. Southern Rides Automotive. It snowed. They have snow. They have snow on their truck. There's snow on there.
They just got that one out of the snowbank. Oh, looks like we have us a car club or something.
It is a car club, Rural Legends Car Club. Great learning stuff. You might get your quarters after that. Southern Rides Automotive.
Merry Christmas.
They wrapped that car.
Yeah. I'd like to find that under my Christmas.
Nice. He means business.
Yes.
He wants to race for pinks. I know, right?
It's the rural.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Come to the trees of Christmas. It's next week.
That the lid fell off.
Pop the top.
Well.
I'm excited. You know what you can put in the back seat of that car?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh!
It's Jake Freeze, Homecoming King, and Andy Mae Clutter, Homecoming Queen. King and Queen of Tennessee Central High School. Yay! We have for you, ladies and gentlemen, on the City of Manchester float, snow. There's sledding, there's snowman building, there's snowball fighting, there's snow, even ice fishing on this float for the City of Manchester. Are you ready?
I'm excited.
Throwing those snowballs, that ice fishing, building a snowman, sledding down the hill. Throw me a snowball. I want a snowball. Yay!
Merry Christmas.
How about that? All snow, all the time. And wait, last but not least, here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. Yay, Santa and Mrs. Claus. Yay, Santa and Mrs. Claus. Yay, Merry Christmas. Yay, Mom, love you, Santa. Mom, love you, Mrs. Santa, mean it. Bye.